So welcome to today's presentation on biohacking and how you can impact your life positively from an anti-aging perspective and also from a health and wellness perspective, which is very much what I am into. So what is biohacking? Biohacking is where someone is altering with science and technology to actually optimize or improve your body's function and efficiency. So we're going to look at a couple of products and a technology called Nutrigenomics that actually helps our body work faster and more smarter so that we can actually slow down our aging process. So just a little intro on me if you don't know me. My name is Vicky Jamieson. I am a beauty therapist and anti-aging specialist as well as a holistic aromatherapist. I have got 2 kids. I live in Melbourne. I'm originally though from Auckland, New Zealand, and in that time I had a beauty business for 20 years, and then when I moved across to Melbourne I just started specializing more in the unique anti-aging philosophies that I had acquired over those years. So my hubby and I do triathlon. So he does Ironman events and I trudge along doing half Ironman and other triathlete events. And my philosophy has always been that when you can feed and look after your body more holistically and give it the right tools, then it can be an amazing machine. So it will look after you as you get older, and hopefully once we're 80, we can tie our shoelaces and be happy and moving around with great health. So just a little disclaimer before we go on is that this presentation is for information and education only. It is not here to cure, heal, prevent, mitigate, or diagnose any conditions. We are talking about health in general and what we can do to help ourselves live a healthier life. So I want to touch on this to begin with because it's quite, some of the research that's been done has been more on lifestyle and obviously how our biology works. So we know pretty much nowadays that lifestyle can impact our health, right? It also, at the moment, we're really aware because of COVID in 2020, how much community and our social interaction as humans also can impact our health, particularly mental health. A lot of aging, though, happens in the body from environmental. So some of which we can control and some of which is just happening to us at a great rate just because of the way we live nowadays. So what things can we do to minimize the damage that's happening within our body that makes that aging speed up? So that 4th box that you see there is on genetics. And over the past sort of 40 years, there's been a lot more research on our genetic coding and how can that impact our health. And so this is now what we're going to look at is how we can positively affect our genes so that we can perform better. So this is a different concept from supplementation, which you're probably well aware of. So supplements are where we're adding in vitamins and nutrients that actually can add on to what we're currently taking. So for example, we would be, if we're eating a nice healthy diet, it provides a certain amount of nutrition, but perhaps it's not enough in today's environment. So we add in, so we're topping ourselves up, we're fueling ourselves if you like. So this is different. This is actually where we can flip the switch on our our pathway in. So it's communication, pathway into how our genes send messages, basically. And so what that does is it sends messages to all the right areas. So we're switching on good genes that were already on when we were younger, but have now been impacted by environment. So we can then have those switches on for a much longer period of time, allowing our body to be the healthiest it can be. So a great analogy of that would be using just supplements is a little bit old school in nutrition nowadays. And so that would be like having a Nokia flip phone. So yes, it still works, but it's probably not the most efficient way that we can communicate. So this is like having activators, and now like having the iPhone 11. So this is just more modern, and the way, because science is amazing and our body is amazing, this is just the newest way that we can help our body do what it's meant to be doing. So let's look at aging and what happens as we get older. So starting at age 20, believe it or not, your ears start declining. And if you think about when you use a hairdryer, how much noise that's impacting, and it's right next to your ears, that is going down and down and down over time. So we've got other, big organs of our body, the eyes, our heart, bone density, particularly for women as we age, becomes more pronounced, particularly at age 35 to 40. And also what we find is our skin breaks down. So I always relate things back to our skin. And if you think about a tomato, how it has that nice smooth skin when it's nice and ripe, and then you stick it out on the bench and you just leave it there day after day after day, it actually starts to oxidize and go off basically. So what happens initially is the surface of that tomato goes wrinkly. So that's just like what our body's happening. The outside of us is going wrinkly, and that's an indication that if we cut that tomato in half and we look inside, there's black bits and brown bits, and it's actually starting to degenerate quite quickly, much more quickly than what we could see from the outside. So this is just what's happening on the inside. And what that is caused from is called oxidative stress. And basically it affects every organ in the body. So brain, kidneys, our joints, and also our eyes and immune system. So what causes oxidative stress? Oops, I go back there. Oh, maybe that doesn't. All these things here. So basically lifestyle, pollution, toxins, things that are in our water supply, and pesticides that come through in our foods. Smoking obviously is clear. Too much exercise. So for my hubby and I, when we're out exercising, not at the moment because we can only do 1 hour, but normally a set day for us would look like perhaps 4 or 5 hours of exercising. That is rigorous exercise. So we are creating more damage internally to our bodies, even though we're still fit and healthy. So it doesn't mean that you're not fit. You can still have oxidative stress. You have a higher rate of free radicals happening on the inside. So the issue is it creates these things called free radicals, which you've probably heard about nowadays. And that is that they just come in, they break us down on the inside, like rusting out. And it's just kind of part of life, accelerated by all of those things. Now, how we normally buffer that is by having a healthy diet. So having a balance between water, good nutritious food, gentle exercise, fresh air, yoga. All of these are actually biohacking ways to look after our body. So we're just going to lift it up a notch by now activating. So one of the ways that we can activate is by this pathway called NRF2, and you don't need to remember the name. All you need to know is it actually makes your body's cells produce its own antioxidants. So normally with food, good food, we would have antioxidants within our food. And that actually helps neutralize or buffer that free radical activity or the oxidative stress, and helps to keep it down so that we feel good, basically. So what happens though is on any given day, we have got trillions of cells in our body, and we are producing this free radical damage or oxidative stress at a much higher rate at which we can, buffer or neutralize with our foods. So for example, I'm going to show you on this next slide here. Hopefully it's going to work. What normally happens is say we eat a punnet of blueberries. Now, one blueberry contains antioxidants, and they work at a ratio of one antioxidant can neutralize one free radical. So what we are doing is actually activating millions of free radicals to be produced in our body, so it can attack millions of free radicals at any one time. Think of it like the fire hose putting out a fire, as opposed to the garden hose putting out your house fire. That's essentially what's happening here. So we are increasing three main antioxidants that we naturally can produce in our bodies at a rate of up to 300% with this one tablet that we take once a day, containing 5 herbs. So it's a natural product, it's natural compounds, and all it's doing, yes, you have the effect of those natural compounds, but together they actually work on this pathway. So there's a graph down the bottom that shows blood was taken. You can see the results in blood tests, which I really, really love with this product. So the blood was taken and measured oxidative stress with people that took the Protandim and people that didn't. And so you could see at the end, the rate at which a person who was 80 and the person who was 20, who had both taken the Protandim, had the same amount of oxidative stress within their system, which is incredible at age 80, that you could have the same as someone who is 20. So I think that's phenomenal, really. And this is the graph showing the sum of those results. So for me, I've always been into health and wellness. And so I was taking a lot of these ingredients. You know, I have green tea in the morning. I didn't take turmeric, but I knew the benefits. Actually, in fact, one of the products I took did have turmeric in it. Bacopa I would take from time to time. It's really good for brain clarity, great for hormones and brain functioning. That's its main thing. Ashwagandha I was really aware of. It's good for stress responses in the body. And milk thistle helps with liver and detoxification and keeping everything clean. So as we get older, obviously that needs a bit more of a hand after 40 years of, you know, lifestyle, having parties and doing all the things that we do to our body. So the point is the sum of those ingredients would come to 8 times the effect. Protandim, the product, gives you 18 times the effectiveness of the sum of those products. So you've effectively got 36 times those ingredients results within the body. Not only is it fantastic product, but it's also got 25 peer-reviewed journal publications. So this is on a government site called pubmed.gov, and this is where a lot of science studies are put up for everyone to see and the results that come about. So these are the publications that have come out that have featured Protandim, the product itself, and then also there are more studies on oxidative stress and the NRF2 pathway and how it is linked to over 2,000 diseases. So this can actually, oxidative stress can actually impact over 2,000 diseases that we have in our body and is lifestyle related. And so this is a lot of the studies that have been done, but particularly on the product itself, we've got 25 peer-reviewed journal studies. So this is not what the company has done. This is independent. Here are some of the universities and institutions that have studied. One of the ones that stood out to me, being into anti-aging, was the National Institute of Aging did a 10-year study that showed, the results showed that the it increased the longevity of life in mice by 7%, which is actually quite huge if that was the only factor that was changed. So that, and there's been lots of other publications out as well from that aging perspective. In fact, Washington State University said that NRF2, which is the pathway, is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future, and that it may be the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. And that is because of that balancing effect that happens from free radical damage that makes us break down on the inside. So here are some other publications. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is well known for his anti-aging and biohacking technologies that he follows. And so he has written a book and actually mentioned Nutrigenomics and the product Protandim, which is surprising. It has been featured in the American Heart Association journal for studies that it showed on cardiovascular disease and improving circulation and reducing heart disease. And obviously it's in the Free Radical journal, which is what it's all about. There is another theory of aging. So that was the first one, which was antioxidants, how they impact free radicals. The second one is on what we call mitochondria decline. And what mitochondria do in your body is basically think of it like a battery of your car. So your body's the car and you've got your battery. You may have the most massive, fantastic engine in your car, which for us is our heart, and that's what gives us, makes us move kind of thing. But these mitochondria are like our little battery packs in every single cell of our body. So if your battery's flat, the car's not going anywhere. So pretty much the same happens in your body. If your battery within your cells is wearing out and tired, then you feel tired. And this also, they have a cleanup job that happens in the body as well. So they clean out all the old stuff. And that also makes us feel tired and run down. And I don't know about you, but if you ever noticed, the older you get, normally the more tired people get. So that's part of that mitochondrial decline. So the other pathway that they've found is the NRF1 pathway, which triggers the production of the mitochondria. So it's not only keeping it healthy, but it's also working on getting rid of old gunk that's in the cell and flushing it out. So it's helping with that detoxification process as well. So again, natural compounds, and this works on the conversion of food or nutrients coming in to ATP, which is your energy. So basically, you've got more energy to go about your day. So the effects that we hear from a lot of people, and I noticed this myself, I thought I slept really well, but the quality and depth of sleep has improved probably tenfold, I'd have to say, which is a bit of a worry because I thought I actually slept well. So people notice brain health, brain clarity. It's good for circulation and energy. As a triathlete, we use it for energy because it contains coenzyme Q10. And that naturally depletes as we get older as well. And it's just generally good energy. The third thing, and you're probably well aware of probiotics for health, and they say that that is now our second brain. This is a big impact on our immune system and how we produce serotonin and can basically keep our nutrients coming in through our system and being made, shunted out to our liver and being made to energy. So we need to have that healthy gut or balanced gut bacteria critical for our health. So there are a lot of different probiotics on the market. So I was kind of like, well, I'll already take a probiotic. What's the difference with this one? And it's that the main difference is not just the quality of the probiotics within it. You don't have to keep it in the fridge, but also that it's time released. So it is encapsulated in a special package. It's called DR caps. And what it does is it releases it into the gut where it needs to release the bacteria so that your enzymes and stomach acid don't break it down on the way down. And then it's time released, which is really important if you're wanting to keep that balance right throughout the day. So a big impact, not just on feeding good bacteria. So those three as a pillars of health is really important to keep everything, the main parts of aging at bay. The third theory, and this is a very new theory, and you may have heard of a lot of people doing intermittent fasting, and it was gaining popularity. And this is why, because it affects one of your 7 sirtuins. So sirtuin activity works on the longevity of your body. And if you think of it as like an industrial vacuum cleaner, so basically it sucks out all the toxins and all the debris that's left from just normal biology and gets rid of it, so that everything functions really clean and it's sparkling and it just does its job without much effort, kind of thing. So more technically, it's working more on the DNA functioning, making sure everything's reproducing it as perfectly as it can, cardiovascular health, moods. And one of the biggest benefits I have found from taking NAD, which is the product, is a sustained energy. So it was kind of like a different level of energy from the mitochondrial one. So it's like, I feel like it's like a ground level strength to my energy, not a hyper energy, just a really sound, I've got this all day, no dips in the afternoon. It's just incredible. I can't explain it well, I don't think, the effect of it. So this is the pathway. It's called NAD, and it works on all those sirtuins. Again, 5 natural products working on mental clarity, physical health. And the other big health benefit is it helps to maintain healthy cholesterol levels. So that is also a key thing that changes as we age typically. So that's worth it. There is a range of skincare products that this company has called True Science. And the biggest difference between this product range and other product ranges, as far as effectiveness with anti-aging goes, because there's lots of different technologies that we can have in our skincare that work on anti-aging, is that it's got this NRF2 activation. So what that means is the biggest thing that impacts our skin on the surface is pollution and sweat and environment. And so if we're buffering that at the surface level while we take our internal stuff and have a healthy lifestyle, we're actually minimizing the rate at which our skin can show wrinkles and lines and dull and pigment and all those kind of things that happen as we get older. So it's a very simple range, 4 products, a gentle foaming cleanser. The lotion has the serum in it as well, which is very unique as far as the toner goes. And great if you've got dry skin, doesn't dry you out. The eye serum is really, really firming, and I have found it great for hooded eyes. So that's one of my family tendencies, is to have hooded eyes just by the structure of my face. So for me, that has made a big improvement. So it's lifted up the eye area. And the anti-aging cream is a moisturizer that has the anti-aging all in one. So you're not taking a firming product and a moisturizer. You do need a sunblock over the top. It doesn't have SPF in it. So here are some of the ingredients. So again, it's very similar to the ingredients that were in the Protandim product. There's just a few added extra things in there. Now, as far as what gives us or what breaks our skin down, and we talked about that toxicity and environmental damage, a lot of skincare ranges, unbeknown to us, can have a lot of preservatives and toxins in the skincare range that go in just to make it a cream, say. So this is an app, Think Dirty, that anyone can get just in the App Store. And it's a really handy app to have if you're concerned with toxicity in your skincare products, but also other bathroom products like shampoo and conditioner, toothpaste, all those kind of things. You can download it, scan the barcode of your product, and it comes up with a rating. So green is super clean. Orange is, it's not too bad, but it's, depends on what ingredients are in there. So look out for parabens and formaldehydes. And red is extremely toxic. So my recommendation was, from a health perspective, as also from a breakdown and anti-aging perspective for your skin, get rid of it. If it's red, get rid of it. So that's a really handy app to have. And they have this hair care range as well. Again, the difference is that it has that NRF2 activation in it, which makes it really unique. Increases the shine of your hair, the health of your hair, And the scalp serum that you see in the middle there won the Best Business Award for a product last year, 2019. And that works on thinning hair. So I know as we get older, I know my mum's used this a lot, and she said her hair's definitely thickened up. So we've got pictures, if you want to see pictures and testimonials of how it's helped from a 6-week to a 3-month time frame on gaining hair, which is amazing. So that's about the products. Now I'm going to go through a little bit about the company, where it's come from, because I think it's really important to know what you're taking and where did this company come from. Because when I first looked at this and heard of LifeVantage, which is the company, I thought, I've been in the anti-aging industry for almost 30 years. How come I have not heard about, this product? Where does this company come from? And so the company was founded in 2003, and the products were originally sold in retail stores at GNC. So in Australia here, we're really familiar with GNC. So it's just a health food shop that you can buy lots of supplements, and it was just on the shelf. So what happened was the sales were really, really slow, and it didn't really move until what happened in the United States was the ABC had their primetime investigative journalist look at the product, and he wanted to prove that it didn't do what it said it was doing by reducing oxidative stress. So he went in front of the camera, took the tablet, and they took his blood tests at day 0, day 14, and day 30 on oxidative stress levels within his blood. And what they found was that after the 30-day period, his blood levels were at a much lower result than what the company had actually claimed. So they make the claim that they can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Well, his had gone down by 40% in the first 14 days and something like 75% in 30 days. So clearly everyone is different, but on average, your oxidative stress is going down by a massive amount. So what happened was, obviously, this is when a lot of other companies thought, what the heck is happening here? This can't be right. And a lot of medical universities that I showed you earlier went, okay, let's investigate this for ourselves. We want to do our own clinical trials. And that's why there are so many published studies on Protandim itself, because they came up with the same result, which was great for LifeVantage. So these are some of the universities that asked LifeVantage, could they buy the product and do their own independent testing? And of course, that's what happened. So why is this important? From a business perspective, and being in the health and wellness industry, for me, I was always trading hours for dollars, and I'm always looking for the next thing, if you like. So what's happening, what's new in anti-aging, where are we heading in the future, and what's coming and what's going to stay. So I'm always interested in trends in that wellness industry, but also not jumping on the bandwagon with just the latest and greatest kind of thing, because there needs to be some sustainability. And if I'm giving out expert advice to people, I want to know there's, one, the science behind it, but two, that it's going to be available for people to have and sustainable. And if it does that greater result, we need to have it as a lifelong process, if you like. So the product that we take is a consumable product. So once we've taken it, we need to take it again and again. So we need to be able to buy it for one thing. From a business perspective, though, that makes it very attractive, because you're creating what's called residual income. So you're educating people on what it does, and then once they're taking the product and love it, they continue to take it as long as they're still getting the results, which is what's happening. So that's what we call retention. 80% of the company's products are from customers, and then the rest is from distributors. So people like me who want to share the knowledge about health and anti-aging and help others feel good, basically. So the interesting thing here is that nutrigenomics as a industry, which is where the gene interaction is coming in, is expected to grow to $17 billion industry by 2023. Now we're here in 2020 faced with a massive health crisis worldwide. So that number may very well be blown out of the water as far as projections go. So if we look back the last 8 years, the wellness industry has increased by 60% for natural products. And of course, we're backed with our 220,000 published studies on oxidative stress. Just some other facts here on the industry and where that wellness is going as an industry. So in the last fiscal year for LifeVantage, it was the biggest ever. It's now $220 million. And at the end of 2019, they were asked by the NASDAQ, so on Wall Street, to ring the bell. So because this is a publicly traded company, it's, everything's transparent. So you can go in and have a look at all their financials, and it tracks their trend. So at the end of 2019, in the health and wellness sector, they had the biggest growth to date. And so that's why they were asked to ring the NASDAQ bell. So that's kind of exciting from a business perspective. It doesn't ring everyone's bell, but when you're wanting to be behind a company that's sound, that was important to me. So I have lost my image here, but we're going to look at a green screen. Obviously, this is a work from home opportunity, as well as I use this in my clinic. So I do retail it in my clinic, but mainly what I do is share it on my phone, which sounds ridiculous in today's world, but through social media, through Messenger, there's a website, we have links, we send people links and they can buy the product. Now, again, with things changing this year with 2020, we're now a lot more au fait with buying things online. And as long as things are in a secure, collecting information and processing of our payment details and statistics like that, then everything's great. So those are the, big companies have that sorted, and that's already done for you. So that's one thing that's great about this. You don't have to set all that up, which I do on the other side of my business, but this is already done for you. So it's virtual and you have an online store. So of course there is training. Not everyone knows about oxidative stress. So we have mentoring, we have online training, we have one-to-one training with mentors, and you can go at your own pace. So the biggest thing to know here is it's a system, just like, for example, a franchise. You get plugged into a system that's already made, that already works, and you just got to follow the steps type thing, which is kind of good, because if I had that in my beauty business, when I started almost 30 years ago, I would have gone, sweet. But no, we sometimes go up and down and stress ourselves out and go around in circles sometimes. So this was a nice click and follow the dots kind of process. So we're coming to the close of the presentation, and I just want to kind of condense a little bit more here for people who are wanting to look at this as a bit of a side hustle or to go alongside what you're currently doing. In my perspective, everyone has a body. And so it's not taking away from what you're already doing or might be doing for work. It can go alongside. And so you get paid on every product you sell, and also you get paid on collectively what happens within your organization and team. So that is an instant and a more long-term income that comes in. So it provides flexibility, and at the end of the day, I think what most people want, and I know what I want, is the choices to create some flexibility, particularly now when, a lot of people may be homeschooling. We're working from home in a different kind of environment. So we want things to be easy, keeping it simple, feeling good, and just sharing what we are experiencing. So if that is of interest to you, we would like to welcome you to our biohacking community. If you want more information, please reach out to the person who introduced you to the webinar. And if you'd like to try the products, become a customer. It is phenomenal. And if you'd like to join the team, let us know and we will take you through that next step process. So enjoy the rest of your day. It's a beautiful day here in Melbourne, and I'm sure you're going to get outside for your 1 hour of exercise and enjoy